Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Sarah Winstead here, bikini athlete and coach for Pro Physique. And today I am training glutes. And so I wanted to share with you guys not only the full breakdown of my glute training plan, post-show and things like that, but also how we are going to be making the improvements for this upcoming season to add some glute density to my glutes and exactly how we're gonna kind of go about that, and also the elements in which muscle growth optimally happens. I think it's very important to take that into account and to focus on those kinds of things, especially during improvement season, especially if you want to make the adjustments that the judges want to see, so that way when you do come back on stage, it's an improved package, it's your best package, you've put in the work, you've put in the effort, and you see again where you stack up again the next time you're on stage. And so that's the goal right now for us. I will tell you that we have taken down my total training days from 5 days to 4 days. That was definitely an adjustment. More so mentally than physically for myself. Physically, it's been going really, really well. I've been recovering a whole lot more. Just my body just ready to freaking go every single session. There was a couple of, times, more than a couple of times, honestly, when I was training 5 days where I was recovered, but it wasn't as optimal as now that I feel. So I'm excited about that. Mentally, it was tougher also just because I had to move my schedule around a little bit. And then I was just like, okay, it's another rest day. I still want to do things, but I know my body needs that. And that is one of the elements I'm going to talk about later as far as optimizing recovery, because that's where muscle growth actually happens. So crunch just opened. So let's go in there and hit some glutes. First exercise on my hypertrophy glute days is going to be hip thrust. Always have my compound movements first in this training plan. That is a difference from what I've done in past improvement seasons, but I've already noticed the strength increases in this improvement season versus last improvement season. I am doing everything about 1 rep shy of failure. The weight here is a little bit lighter because my rep range is a little bit higher for my hypertrophy days on glutes. This allows me to do sort of an undulating of periodization of my volume and allows me the most optimal recovery in between sessions for my glute training. I am taking a band and putting it right above my knees for extra tension on the upper glutes. And then I am really focusing on both phases of the movement, not just the contraction, but that eccentric and lowering phase. I'm making the face, I'm pushing myself extremely, extremely hard. And this is even after I've done a nice warm-up set or two as well. Next exercise is goblet squats. I'm using a T-bell that I've got off of Brett Contreras' website. That way I can load it and really hang on to the weight. This is 110 pounds. And my feet are elevated to get that extra little zip on the lower glutes. You'll notice in my goblet squats, I am letting my eyes travel down with me, and I'm pushing my hips back first in this movement. I actually like wearing these orange leggings because when I film, I can actually look back and see the muscles working and see the squeeze, especially at that top portion where I keep my chin kind of tucked as well. I love this movement for lower glutes. A little bit of quad activation as well, since it is a knee extension exercise. But again, I'm still focusing on that concentric and the eccentric lowering, going about 1 rep shy of failure. Next exercise is seated abduction. Now I do this 3 different ways, and you'll notice I've added in a hip thrust pad that I've cut in half. Because I'm short, my legs are short, I wanted to get that extra little range of motion, especially at the start of the movement. And adding these little pads in forces my knees inward more, so that way I have a bigger range of motion than the machine itself would normally do for a person. Again, these machines are built not for people that are 5'1" like me, they're built for the standard size person. And so I do about 10 to 12 of these when my hips push back in the pad, looking up and really focusing on that upper outer glute area. Then I will move on once I make the face, and very, very tough set, trying to get every rep out of it. My goodness, I make a lot of faces. Then I will move into a seated vertical position, and you'll feel this move around your glutes as you move through the movement here. I'm still trying to feel it. I am touching my butt to feel the muscles actually working in both phases, the concentric and eccentric phases. Very important. If you cannot feel them working, if you don't have that mind-muscle connection, your glutes, or I don't care, any muscle group, it's not going to grow. I actually had to decrease the weight a little bit for the last one just because my glutes were just like done. The last variation I'll do for this is a leaning forward variation. I'm really more so focusing on this one is that eccentric. I feel a lot of that burn when the knees are coming back inward, and I'm just trying to squeeze out every last rep for this set. This is how every single one of my sets are. Every rep, every set matters, y'all. Then we move into our single leg accessory movements for glutes. This one is specifically for lower glutes. This is a, box step downs, I want to call them. So for here, I am bracing against a wall, and I'm focusing on sitting on my heel, pushing my hips back, leaning forward to really get that lower glute engagement, especially at the bottom part of that rep and the top part. I mean, I really want to feel this through every single phase of the movement. I'm going really slow, and I am not touching the bottom of the floor. I'm trying to actually go right before the floor. That way it's constant tension on my glutes. Then I will switch arms, and I always start with my weaker side. That way I can match reps with my stronger side to create that nice balance, especially with single leg exercises. I do pose on my weaker side, my left side, and so that's why I start with my left glute, and then I want to move into my right glute because we always tend to have a weaker side, one over the other. Last movement of the day, cable kickbacks. I am having the cable attachment right below my knee because that is personally where I feel it the most. Try it here, try it at your ankle. You can try standing positions, you can try lean forward positions. Whatever works best for you, do it, stick with it. I do have my foot elevated on a plate as well to get that little extra range of motion too. But at this point, my glutes are pretty much toast. So I'm trying to get everything else I can out of the glutes with these single leg movements. Again, starting with my weaker side and matching reps on the other side. And you guys will notice this is the entire workout. This is all I do for glutes. It's not fancy. I like sticking with a lot of the basic movements and movements that I personally feel. And that's one thing that I ask my clients to tell me. And if we're not feeling it, then we're not going to be building muscle mass in that particular area. So make sure your training plan is effective, it's simple, and it's designed for you and your progression. What's up, guys? So I hope you enjoyed the kind of glute training day that I broke down for you. And it's been a really, really interesting transition from prep to improvement season, especially with regards to training. I've really noticed over the past 3 weeks or so, definitely 3 weeks, that my energy in the gym is so much higher. My ability to get a pump is so much better. And the further and further away I get from my competition, and right now I'm just over 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks post show. So, I'm starting to feel like a freaking bodybuilder again. We're able to move much heavier weight. I'm not crawling out of the gym. I'm also not doing mountains of cardio. And all of those elements, as I'm going to go into here in a second, contribute to your ability to build muscle mass. In prep, you ain't building muscle mass. You're revealing and peeling back the layers of body fat to the muscle mass that you've built during your improvement season. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to build muscle in a deficit. I'm just like, unless you're brand new to training, unless you're a brand new or coming back from taking time off of training, the newbie gains are not going to happen for you. You're not going to build muscle in a deficit. We need a lot more fuel, a lot more time, and a lot better training intensity of stuff that we just can't accomplish in contest prep, which is, again, one of the main reasons why I knew to end my season where I wanted to end it, because of my feedback of glute density. Now, going into the elements of how we're going to go about building this glute density, they're not that much different from what I recommend to my clients for those that come to me and want to build muscle mass, be it lifestyle or prep clients. It's all pretty much the same principles. How you apply them and kind of where you apply them and how you customize each area, that's where you come in as far as just like making your own different plans and kind of, you know, applying these nuggets and applying these different overarching areas to your own fitness and nutrition journey. That's what I encourage you guys to do. Number one, training. Obviously, we just witnessed that going through my training day of glutes. Right now, as I mentioned before in the intro clip, 4 days of training, 3 days of glutes, 1 strength, 1 hypertrophy day, and 1 pump day. Now, that pump day is an optional day for me. It is paired with my shoulder day. And so that 3rd day is optional. As far as like, hey, am I recovered? Am I still pretty sore? Did I hit a PR this week and I'm just like, I don't know if I can actually hit my glutes again or if my body's ready for it. More is not necessarily always better. Better is better. And so that 3rd optional day is up to me. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't take it. Sometimes I just train shoulders and give my body more time to rest. And that way I come back and I'm like, ready to hit it hard with some good strength, some good power behind it when I am more recovered. I usually say if I'm 90% recovered, that's an A, you know, then I'm ready to go. But if anything below that, a B, it's not honestly for me worth it. I may do like a light warm up just to get some blood flow to help everything start to cycle through, but I'm not going to push my body again and again and again and not allow it that time to actually recover. So training, I'm training heavy, I'm training with intensity, with intent, with a plan, within my given rep range. I'm flirting with failure. I'm going maybe 1, sometimes very close to failure every single session, every single set of my training. So it's hard. It's very, very hard. That's what it takes for me to build muscle mass. And for the majority of us, you know, given my training age, I've been lifting weights since I was 18 years old. I learned from the football coach at my high school. I took weight training, not body sculpting, which was the girl one. So I wanted to take weight training with the boys. So given my training age, and obviously I haven't been following a bodybuilding style training for that long, I'm training like a bodybuilder probably since 2016. So still a decent amount of time. The longer you train, the longer you do this, the longer it takes to build muscle mass. You'll never regret it. This is why I'm giving myself time to do this. So hard, heavy, intensity, intent. Make the face. You guys see my Instagram. I'm making the face all damn day long, doing some just noises, and it doesn't really matter. You got to allow that muscle and you got to force that change to happen. If you don't force that change to happen, it ain't going to grow. And then your stage physique is going to be the exact same. Force it to grow. The second element, which I've mentioned that goes hand in hand with training, is recovery. Recovery is where muscle building actually happens. When we're in the gym, we make tears in the muscle fibers that we tear them down. The muscles need time, along with other things like food, to build back up and rebuild the muscle fibers to adapt to the stimulus that you just placed upon it. And so it comes back better, comes back stronger. That takes time. That doesn't happen if you're training 6 or 7 days a week. That happens if you're training 4, maybe 5 days a week, depending upon your goals and depending upon the person and how intense you're training and what you can recover from. That's the key. Extra rest day is in there. And like I said, that optional 3rd pump day is up to me whether or not I want to actually use that day. I'm not chasing soreness. If I'm still really, really sore, I am taking an extra rest day and I'm just going to relax, maybe do an extra little like walk or even my mobility flow to like get some blood flow to the muscles to make sure I am adequately recovered. Massages, physical therapy, chiro, all these elements can very much help you with the recovery aspects from your training sessions. I'm chasing the mind-muscle connection. I'm chasing the pump. I'm chasing that brain to the muscle fibers, contracting, feeling the squeeze in every single time. And if I don't feel it, I may do an extra warm-up set, or I may drop down and do an extra like hip opener to see if I can't feel it. It's not going to fire every single time, but I want to put myself in the best possible position to build that muscle mass. Now, I'm also lowering my steps for the recovery aspect of things, because when you're in prep, as you know, it's a lot of cardio. It's a lot of movement. Right now, my steps are around 12, maybe 15,000 a day. Now, most of that is walking my puppy Una. She takes a lot of walks because she is a picky Shiba. She is a diva Shiba to where she only pees and poops on walks. She does not pee or poop in the backyard. It's the element of that breed. They're like cats. They want to pee and poop as far away from the house as possible. And once she found the outside world beyond our tiny little backyard, she was like, So a lot of walks with her. So again, it's not so much like I'm getting, I'm running around all day or doing mountains of cardio. I'm just getting a normal step count that works for my lifestyle and gradually down ticking my formal cardio from contest prep to allow my body more time to recover. Food. Yay. We get fuel now, especially pre and post training. Carbohydrates, protein, salt, water, magical combination for the pumps. Carbohydrates, energy, and recovery pre and post training. Half my carbs for the day are between my pre and post workout meals. And so that allows me to get more energy in the gym, put more strength behind my movements, and then of course recover optimally afterwards. You guys have seen my rice cakes and strawberries. You guys have seen my breakfast with my cream of rice as well as my English muffins. Eventually you will see Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's going to make a return. I want my cereal back, but I'm just not there yet as far as my reverse diet, but food's getting higher. Every few weeks we're adding more food, and every few weeks I feel even better in the gym, even stronger in the gym, and everything else in my world just starts getting that much better. Stress management kind of goes along with recovery as far as just like, again, dieting is a stressor on the body. Cardio is a stressor on the body. All those things happen in contest prep. Now my body is a lot less stressed, a lot less inflamed, but I'm still doing things to help it stay that way with keeping my outside stressors low, my mental stressors low. But when I do have a particularly stressful moment or a stressful day, I know how to manage it with either some breath work, some meditation, some yoga flows, going on a little extra solo walk, maybe when Yuna's at daycare, taking an Epsom salt bath, or just spending quality time with friends and family, especially my husband, date nights. Those are our times, honestly, to de-stress and just be with us. Netflix nights, my smoothie with my puppy at night, watching TV. That's my stress relieving time frame. And so it's very important to manage that, because if the two things of sleep and stress are not in the good place for you, it's not going to put you in a great spot to build muscle mass or lose body fat. I don't care what season that you're in. Sleep and stress, my two pillars. Last thing, time. A lot more time than you may want it to take, a lot more time than you have the patience for, but you're never going to regret taking more time away from stage to build that muscle mass. I'm going to put up here two photos of me during contest prep, same weight, both photos, completely different physiques. The difference in between here, all these aspects, training, recovery, food, stress management, biggest thing, time, 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Takes a lot more time than you may think it will, but you're never going to regret spending more time building muscle mass, because when you get up there, that hard work is going to be rewarded, which is why I am taking 1.5 years, not competing, not dieting, not doing anything, but growing my glutes and of course a little bit more on the rest of my body, living life, enjoying all these aspects of just living the lifestyle of a bodybuilder, of a bikini competitor, as well as just giving my body the time that it needs, both mentally and physically, away from contest prep. It's a very rigorous thing. If I had to think about it going back into a contest prep starting in December, I'd probably cry, honestly. Not ready for that mentally. Because also, I want to give myself the time, because the next time I step on stage, I want to earn my spot as a pro. I want to earn it. And I want to get up there and I want the judges to look at me and be like, yep, that's a pro. Like I don't want there to be even a question in their minds. Because that's the next logical step for me as an athlete. I got this question on my Instagram a little while ago. It's like, why do you want your pro card? And I'm like, for me, number one, it's not about the vanity. I don't need it for the notoriety. I don't need any of that crap. It's not for that. I'm an athlete, been an athlete all my life. I'm always striving for that next goal. And my next goal in bodybuilding, from just a placing standpoint, is that first place spot, is that pro status. Because I was so close this year. I was a couple spots off at Junior USA's. I was one spot away at Junior Nationals. And so that is the next, honestly, logical step for me as an athlete. And I want to do it and show people what hard work, dedication, and patience and just freaking grit can get you if you work hard enough for it. And so That's my goal as an athlete. And that's my why behind why I want to get my pro cards. For me, I want it as an athlete. I want to go through that process again and get up there, see where I stack up, have some fun as I always have, and have that be the legitimate goal. It was not on my radar for this year. It will be on my radar as a striving point in 2025. So that takes care of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment below any additional questions or any additional video ideas you have for this upcoming improvement season. I am filming a full day of eating. I promise you that will be coming out hopefully next week of the foods I've been incorporating in my reverse diet. But I'm really excited to share that with you along with the rest of my journey as we continue reverse dieting into improvement season. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.